Right, YouTube, it's Shadow King Nazru, and I just hit 200 subscribers on YouTube. So, to celebrate this huge milestone, I tried to figure something good to record, and I couldn't think of much. So, instead, I'm going to treat you all to an early review of Dragon Ball Super episode 121. Let's get started, shall we? So, we start off with the episode with Paparina preparing his endgame and fusing himself with that giant three robot transformer thing that I can't remember its name because, well, I don't know much about the robots, so I didn't really care enough to check what their name was. But they merge into a giant beast called Ani-Raza, or Ani-Laza, depending on your translation. And a lot of people have compared him to looking like a mix between Hirudegarn, Hachiak, and having some abilities of Janemba. They really did like making homages to the Dragon Ball Z non-canon movies in this saga. And Shin, when he first sees this, feels that this that Ani-Raza, or whichever you want to call it, is just big. It looks big and intimidating, but isn't as strong as he looks. Shin, just shut up. Just shut up. Because whenever you say something, it's 9 times out of 10 wrong. And this was no exception, as Ani-Raza tends to prove to be very powerful, as his ki blast, as simply charging his ki and allowing it to disperse causes huge destruction around the arena. And even Jiren had to shoot a ki blast at it to not allow it to hit his teammates. And the rest of Universe 7 says that this guy's dangerous, we gotta start teaming up. So Gohan comes up with the idea that they should try to attack it from all sides to distract it and get some good hits in. But Ani-Raza is able to hit him, and Android 17 says this is because Ani-Raza has these ears that work with ultrasonic waves, much like a dolphin or a bat, which does make sense for him to know that because he's a park ranger, would have studied his biology. And then Ani-Raza starts proving that he's fast too for his size, much like the when Vegeta went grade A back in the Saiyan saga. So he's not only just big and strong, but he's also pretty fast. And to top it all up, he can also open portals through time and space and punch all his opponents, much like Janemba. Oh boy, isn't that just fantastic? And everybody gets wailed on, and Goku almost gets eliminated, but he gets saved by Frieza. I'm not going to thank Frieza because, well, I hate Frieza. And Frieza says that he's pretty much implied that he saved Goku because he needs him to defeat Jiren. And Goku says that they're going to need Frieza to help defeat Ani-Raza. And Frieza's reluctant to do this until Ani-Raza starts going after him. And Frieza feels that Ani-Raza is doing this because he assumes that between him and Goku, that Frieza is the weaker of the two. Well, to be fair, Frieza, he's not wrong. I mean, maybe he would be considering Goku's somewhat exhausted, but still. And Ani-Raza keeps trying to grab all the Z fighters until he grabs Android 18 and tries to eat her. Far be it from me to suggest that Android 18 be allowed to eat, or anyone else, except maybe Frieza. But wouldn't Android 18 getting eaten kill her? And since killing is against the rules, unless the Omnikings decide to allow killing, get Aniraza disqualified, and thus also uh, take Universe 3 out of the tournament so they would be erased. Plus, they could have also brought Android 18 back with the Dragon Balls. I mean, I know it's a dark choice, but I'm just saying that was an option. But anyway, Goku manages to save Android 18 using instant transmission. I really like this, as this was a nice character moment for Goku, and it's had a little bit of bonding between him and the androids, and got him some major points between them and Krillin. So they continue to try to fight off Aniraza, and Aniraza started using Ki Blast to start dispersing against everywhere, and they try to counter with their own Ki Blast, except for Android 17, who starts forming a barrier, but there's just so many of them, and they're pushing him back, until ultimately it breaks through, and it causes him to fall off the ring, but Android 18 catches him, and kicks him back into the arena, sacrificing herself, and she's eliminated. A lot of people are making great character moments and decisions. I really did respect this, and Krillin shows that he's proud of Android 18, and that's really nice. Danny D. World is really enjoying this. And thus, Android 17, witnessing Android 18's sacrifice, he plans to honor her by defeating Aniraza, and so do Z-Fighters in, plus Frieza agreed to do so, for his own ambition anyway. And they all start going to full power. Gohan goes Mystic, Goku and Vegeta go Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, Frieza goes Golden, and Android 17 just goes full power. And they fire their ultimate attacks at them, except Frieza, who just uses his Death Beam. Of course, it could have been the Emperor's Death Beam. I mean, would that count as his ultimate attack? Forget it. So they all just combine with his attack, who, to collide with Aniraza's ultimate attack, was just a big giant Ki Ball. Oh, and also he can fly, because he has wings. Yeah, he just grew wings because why the hell not? And, they said they need to get rid of that Ki Blast, because if it hits them or the arena, it'll destroy the whole arena, and everybody will be eliminated except for Aniraza, who will be flying, and he'll be the last man standing. And it seems evenly matched, though Universe 7 starts to falter a little bit, so Android 17 decides to form up a barrier and collide into the energy ball, and hits Aniraza on the forehead where his energy reactor is, causing it to destabilize and lose power, and the rest of the Z-Fighters, plus Frieza, are able to push the Ki Blast back and defeat Aniraza. And thus, he's separated back into his four fighters, and Universe 3 is officially defeated, and they get erased. But much like Universe 2, they take it with grace and pride, knowing that they did their best. This episode actually made me gain some respect for Universe 3. I didn't care much for Universe 3 beforehand, but this really gave me some amount of respect. They put up a good fight in the end, and they took their defeat with grace and dignity. I mean, we also got this one bit where Moscow, the god of destruction of Universe 3, opened up his the door to his stomach, and it turns out that Moscow is not a giant robot, but this little imp thing inside of the mech. Okay, that was a thing. And everybody starts congratulating themselves in Universe 7, but they're confronted by the Pride Troopers with Dispo, Topo, and Jiren. And Jiren says that they seem to have gotten a lot of experience from their previous fights since Goku last fought Jiren, and he could attempt to fight Jiren again. But Jiren says that no matter what happens, it's all going to end the same with Jiren kicking his ass. And Goku says, I don't think so. And that's where the episode ends off. All in all, this was a pretty good episode. Aniraza proved to be a rather fun villain, albeit I had mixed feelings of him referencing Dragon Ball Z non-canon movies of characters I did not exactly care for because they were bland and one-dimensional. But he was very powerful. Did challenge the Z Fighters and Frieza to force them to work together. We also got a lot of good character moments from 17, 18, and Goku. And we're getting some build up between the fight between Universe 7 and Universe 11. So that's my review of episode 121. Next week we're not getting an episode, but in the new year of 2018, we're getting Vegeta versus Jiren. Will Vegeta be able to put up a good fight against Jiren, or will he make a complete fool of himself? Who knows? All that we do know is that Vegeta won't win because we know Goku has to get his rematch with Jiren. But it should be entertaining nonetheless. That's my review of episode 121. I'll catch you guys later. Oh, and also, Merry Christmas, everybody.